Sorry, I'm back. Like I said, I think I just need to replace my chipset. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on. It's only when I'm doing my streams on PC lately. The chipsets, I think, it's a little over 3 years old. But I think it's just time. I have a massive cooler system in here without going liquid, but seriously, I think it's just the chipset. It's just that time to do a replace. Sucks. Sorry. Apologize. Oh, well. As soon as I get the money, I'll do it. As soon as I get it, I will do it. So, might limit my stream options from PC in the next few weeks. So, depending. Might have to do a fundraiser for myself again. Alright, so, anyways, let's go over this. Alright, so you had a question, King, and let me answer that for you. Okay, shield system. Go into the champion points. You go over to the Lord, and all of a sudden you go down to Bastion. Increase the effectiveness of your damage shields, right? So that's how you increase your shields, right? Now, if you want to go and increase Soul Assault, it scales what? Thaumaturge. So you guess what you do with your Thaumaturge? You know, scale it up. And also, your stats are also going to be effective based on gear requirements too. But Thaumaturge is an effect that scales Soul Assault. So, there's that. Now, let's get into what we were talking about with skills. Okay. So, looks good, right? Let's take a look at funnel health. 6524, right? On this type of configuration, running a utility set. Now, why do people run Worm? You only need one person with Worm, and typically I run it on what? My Templar. I always use it on my Templar. Why? Because he can afford to fucking lose a little bit on the healing, right? So, people don't know that. Anytime you increase what? Base stats, your heals go up. But anytime you use the Worm set, guess what? Its 5th bonus doesn't give you any additional. It's basically causing what? Reduction for your group. Great on Templar. Great on any other freaking healer that can afford to do it. Nightblades cannot do it. Why? Because their heals are based off what? Damage. Damage. Don't use utility. And I'm about to show you why. Yes, O'Daily, Nightblade Healer, things you should know. Take 3, Slate. Love it. Okay. So, let's get into the other set I pulled out. Right? And that is the War Maiden set. Alright. Oh, inventory is full. Well, that sucks. Oh, okay. No, we're good. Alright, so I have the Worm on. I'm going to replace the Worm now with War Maidens. That's all I'm going to do. Now guess what? Now I'm getting 386 to what? Magic damage abilities, right? Guess what damage type I'm dealing? Oh shit! I'm dealing magic damage! It's all magic damage. All of this is magic damage. So guess what? My sap essence went up. Guess what happens to that healing effect based off that? Because it's going to go ahead and increase. Funnel health. When I heal, I'm dealing now 7,043 magic damage. Right? And my allies are getting healed what? 26% of the damage I'm dealing. Right? 26% of what? The damage I deal. So basically, boom. Now as a Nightblade Healer, guess what I also want to take into consideration? So you see 26%, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to confirm this, and we're going to clear it. Now I want to go ahead and I'm going to put in Blessed. I want that higher. But I'm not going to take it up as high as I do with other healers. Why? Because I got to deal damage. I have to deal damage. And given the fact that now I'm dealing damage, what I also want to take care of? Critical damage. Now I have to worry about what? Penetration. Not too much. Just enough to offset. So I usually go about 19. Now what do I got to do? I've got to worry about staffs, right? I'm using Arresto staff. So usually I'll go around about 12 on the Nightblade. I'll take it higher with every other healer. Then guess what I also want to do? Once again, more damage. Right? So we got that. That's looking good. We have now the Butcher. Now we have the 12%. Now we have this. Now I can put this up to another about 12%. Bingo. Okay? Looks good. That's a Nightblade configuration right here, right? That's how the Nightblade configs look. Now when I go back into skill, now what? Instead of 26, I'm healing 29%. Now if I take it up a little bit more, I can get 30, but there's a diminishing value there, right? So now I'm dealing less damage. Why? Because I have to heal. So as you guys can see, I was dealing 7,002. Now it's 6,900, but now I gain 3% what? Towards my healing factor. So I'm bringing down the damage a little to increase its healing effect. But I have to deal damage to heal. So 6,900, right? With this set. If I put Worm back on, right? Now we have the Worm back on, and we go back into skills. Look, we lose 500 damage per hit. That's going to dramatically affect the Nightblade in the long scheme of things. Because it's sacrificing its what? Its damage for a support set. Because most people are like, well, it's just a few points off your healing. No, not in this case. In this case, it's dramatically affecting everything across the board because all of my healing effects deal damage. My primary heals all affect by damage. So I'm not losing just one aspect, I'm losing across the board. So for Nightblade, that's detrimental. So like I said, War Maiden's a really great set for Nightblade healers. Why? It deals magic damage on this bar. So, and guess what? I don't have to worry about Warhorn. It's not affected by either set. But if I went, now listen, instead of energy orbs, if I went with the damage orbs, that deals magic damage too. The blue balls do. So once again, that's why War Maidens is a great set. But I would have to take the Thief Mundus, you know, instead of like something maybe like the Apprentice. So there's the off difference, right? I can go with Julianos, I could go with the Apprentice, right? So that's one of the things that you should know. So like I said, spinners too. You can run spinners on the back bar. So let's say I want to switch up the configuration a bit, right? And I want to use a monster set. One of my major monster sets I use, now you can do many different monster sets, right? That's an option. It is an option. So I'm going to tell you that. But let's say I go with this type of configuration right here. I'm going to use this type of setup, right? Now, I need to destroy something. Yeah, we'll destroy the architect stuff for a minute. Up. Now let's say I keep War Maidens, right? Let's say I'm going to stay with War Maidens. And I'm going to use it especially on what? I don't need it to be static at all times because it's specified, right? It's a specified set. Nightblade heals, scale off damage done. More damage, bigger heals. Absolutely. You do not put utility. Now, my preference, my poison of choice is always sword and board. Some people like to dual wield. That's fine. You can do that. Nothing wrong with that. I still need to destroy something more. I can destroy that. All right. Supplies. Where is it? Okay, sword. And I need a resto staff. Okay, so we're going to switch up something a little different. Now, I got to keep Spell Power Cure static at all times. Why? It's going to increase the uptime of Spell Power Cure. Okay, so I want to go ahead. I want to put that Spell Power Cure on this. Now, I want to go ahead to the staff, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the War Maiden's Resto staff. I know, it sounds weird. And now, on the main hand, I'm going to go with what? War Maiden Sword. War Maiden board. Now you can use, now keep in mind, you can use Julianos, you can use spinners, a lot of different setups here. I'm just using War Maidens as an example, right? That's all I'm doing. It's just as a demonstration. Okay, so I'm going to replace this with the War Maiden set now. All the worm pieces. Okay. That's Spell Power Cure. That's Spell Power Cure. Okay, so now you're going to see Spell Power Cure, no matter what I do, is my static set at all times. Why? Because anytime I heal, it has a 50% chance to apply. I don't want to change that. But you'll notice, get some riding bag space. I know, I need to. I wasn't anticipating. But now look at War Maiden. On staff side, I only have, what? Four. Right? So I don't get the bonus to what? Magic damage until I double stack. So now when I come over on this side, guess what? Now I have the double stack configuration. So what's that do? That applies the War Maiden's buff to what? I forgot to switch out skills. I messed up. 1 second. We'll take care of that. Main hand. Damn it, Jim. All right. Main hand. Okay. Let me try that again. Take 2. All right. So when I'm on this bar, now guess what? The War Maidens is applied to what? My siphoning abilities, my siphoning attacks. So now, what's that do for me? Okay, well, it isolates the build. So Spell Power Cure, static. Always going to apply no matter what type of healing I'm going to deal. Whether it's going to be siphoning, a Nightblade healing, whether it's going to be Resto heal. It's always going to apply. Now War Maiden's applied to only specifically what? My damaging effects. The magic damage that's going to do what? Scale my healing effect. So that's where it's isolated. Same thing if I was to use Julianos. Julianos would give me that boost. I can run static with Julie too, with the, Resto Destro. You can do that with Spell Power Cure. It works great. Any healer can run that type of configuration, but most of the time you need a utility set as other healers. Nightblade, you don't. Nightblade wants to deal damage to increase healing capability. It's design. It's intent. So you really want to bank from that. So there we have that type of setup. Now, why do I do a type of setup like that? Well, it's simple. Because I don't need 2 static sets, right? What's that do? It offers the Sentinel now. Now, why do I love the Sentinel on the Nightblade? I'm a little biased to the set. Because besides orbs, it also offers, guess what? A utility. It offers the utility to the stamina. Why in the fuck would I want the Master Staff when I can increase survivability, passives, and guess what? Offer more utility based on what? Healing. Right? That's what I'm doing. So the staff doesn't give me the Undaunted bonus. The monster set can. And it can give me the passives and the heavy armor. So you don't have to use the Sentinel. You can use any monster set if you're going to run this type of configuration. So you're not limited. You're not restricted with Nightblade healers. A lot of options. Just certain things. If you're going to take end game from dungeon to end game serious, you have to know configurations. You have to be able to say, what am I going to lose and what am I going to gain? Because ideally, if I put Julianos as a double stack without a monster set, I gain on both ends. I gain on Resto healing and I gain on siphoning healing without a loss. But guess what? I don't offer utility. on monster proc. I don't have that monster proc. So am I going to pick up a Master Staff for survivability? I want it. Some players might. And that's what's nice about this game in Elder Scrolls. You have the options. You have those at your disposal to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this. That's fine. You can do that. You can do that. So a lot of options in this. Hey, what's up, Michael? So when anybody wants to talk, now I live and die by Nightblade Healer. This has been my go to everything in this game in Elder Scrolls. When people said it couldn't be done, this is the healing class that I did it with. This was the healer I did it with. No other tuber out there can make such a claim that they know the Nightblade Healer better than I do. It's never going to happen. Nightblade healing, I've lived and died by in this game. And, you know, there might be other players who can say it who's been out here longer, but I can guarantee you there's no other tuber. Because currently they're messing up. You don't put utility set on Nightblade Healer. You can do it. It's going to cost them. It's going to cost the Nightblade more than any other healer. Why? Because of damaging effects that apply its healing capability. You want to utilize the Nightblade's HOTS. It's you know, a part of its system. So there you have it. And when people say that doesn't have a burst heal, that's wrong too. Sap Essence is its burst. Everything else is hot effects, right? On Nightblade, except Sap Essence. Sap Essence is its burst heal. It's one of the lowest if it's a single target, but once you apply the, you know, what's it said, it gives you that major sorcery. So it's a form of major sorcery, and then when there are mobs, no other healing effect scales higher. Hey, Mystic, I finished my tank. I told you about a couple weeks ago. Vid will be up soon. I'll keep you updated. Would love your feedback. Great. Okay, definitely, J-Rock. Definitely, man. Definitely take a look at it. So keep me posted, man. But yeah, this is where it's at. So the needs here. Now, you don't have to use Refreshing Path. I like it. It's my preference. That's an option. These two are not optional for Nightblades. Don't leave home without them. Don't leave home without these two. Okay, so 4 skills and healing sets, always. Everything else, flexible. Very flexible on every other layout, except Funnel Health, need. Sap Essence, need. Healing Springs, need. Combat Prayer, need. Could you do Worm? No. We just went over that. Put Worm on a Nightblade, guess what happens? I just demonstrated that. Guess what happens to the Nightblade heals when you put Worm on him? Rock, would you answer that for me? You can do it. You can. It's going to go down. Worm does not pair well with Nightblade healing. It gimps the heals. Right. You do not, for God's sakes, out of any configuration you come out with Nightblade, you better have a damaging set. You better have... A utility set does not work on Nightblade. Heal. But guess what? I'll out-heal most Templars every day of the fucking week. I out-heal Templars. That's no fucking joke. With my hot rotation, Templars can't keep up. They just can't. Because they're devised between cleanse, utility. They're utility healer. They have a really nice heal, right, with Breath of Life, but the Sork's Twilight out-heals that. But when I lay down throughout all my hots, when my hots are at its highest, nobody's out-healing me with that type of layout if I know my rotation. No, because the hots are consistent. If my hots start dropping off and my rotation suffers, people die. That's the way it goes. Sorry, just came. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't put Worm. Don't ever put Worm. Don't ever put Worm on a Nightblade healer. Somebody put a video out there. I won't say who he is. He put a Nightblade healer out there and he put Worm on him. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to get people killed. I need to put Funnel Health. I was like, he's going to get people killed. It's going to get people killed. Remember, Nightblade heals scale off damage. More damage, bigger heals. Right. Pretty much. What about Earth Gore? PvP, you could. PvE now, I wouldn't. The downtime is just not worth it. You know, you can use a lot of configurations. You can. You can use a monster set like Earthgore. I just don't like the timing on it. I like Chokethorns, though, on Nightblade Healer. You know, that's a good set, too. It's a really good set, actually. Chokethorns, Troll King can be resourceful. I don't like it, but I've heard of Nightblade Healers using Troll, but Troll King, but I haven't done it. But because the hots will proc it after they drop. So I've heard of them using it. I haven't done it, but I've heard of, like, for example, that being a used set for Nightblade Healers. So yeah. So there's like I said, there's configurations I haven't thought of, but one truth remains on every end viable build for Nightblade. Damage set applied. I have never seen a top end Nightblade Healer build without what? Damaging set. Never. Anytime I've ever seen somebody try to do the same shit that they would put on a fucking Templar, that Nightblade looks like shit. It's like, oh my god. What are you doing? Well, I'm putting Biss on my Nightblade. No, that's not Biss, because you're putting it on a Nightblade. Biss does not apply in this game. Okay? For God's sakes. You do not build every healer the same. You will suffer for doing so. For God's sakes, don't do that. Monster set is flexible. Chokethorns is great single target heal. Right. So, you know, there are a lot of options. That's what I'm saying. You're not restricted to Nightblade, right? Real quick question. Spell crit numbers. How is it calculated? I understand you don't want to over crit, but on a set like Mother Sorrow, that's a lot of crit. On certain classes it is. On Nightblade, you wouldn't use Mother Sorrow as much, but guess what class benefits from Mother Sorrow? Better. Templars. Magplars. Sorry. I run Mother Sorrow on my Magplar. Once again, passives apply. So I don't need all that crit on my Magplar or on my Nightblade. Guess who doesn't have as much crit in its passives? The Templar. So all of a sudden I put a set on like Mother Sorrow on the Magplar. Boom! It's at like 55 point something perfect. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. That's what I'm saying. It's been calculated. The gears, I hate to say it, but certain sets are just more tailored for certain classes a little bit better. It doesn't restrict you like Burning Spellweave. Would I put it on anything other than a DK? No. Can you? Yeah. But I wouldn't. It's more tailored for the DK. Why? Because of the burning status effect. It's coupled with it. It's like, boom. Like, you know, Silks of the Sun. You can put it on a Templar. It's got some fire damage abilities. You can pair it well with this. But, you know, DK has way more flame damage. It's just the way it is. Necropotence. Would I put Necropotence on a Nightblade? I mean, come on, man. Would I mean, they've done it because the shadow counts as a pet. But guess what? I'm losing a bar spot of a damaging ability to do what? Apply Necropotence. It's like the benefit is for the Sork because why? It has a damaging a pet applied. Just saying. Make a Nightblade that heals with magical detonation, a bomb healer. So, like I said, there's just a lot of options in Nightblade healing, right? I live and die by Nightblade Healer. I have been nicknamed by some as what? The healer of Elder Scrolls. Why? Because I play every class as a healer in this game. And I'm not saying I know every configuration. I just know how each class works in that role, right? So, like DK, you could put DK in heavy armor, believe it or not, and it would benefit. Why? Because its mitigation scales off what? Health. All of a sudden, when it mitigates more damage, it needs what? Less healing. Now, you don't have to go that route. You can make it a little bit and offset that to what? Now you're healing on top of it. But one of the major functions of the DK is mitigate first, heal second. So, yeah. The way it really goes, and that's why I'm always telling people, no Biss in this game. There's just none, but you want to be, you have options, but you have to be aware of what you're going to lose. And do not, for God's sakes, do not configure every healer, every tank, every friggin' class the same. It doesn't benefit you to do so. Those passives kick in to each class, and like the Sork tank. Sork tank's shield system doesn't scale health like every other tank system does. It scales what? Magicka. So, you know, those are the things you have to be aware of. You have to be aware of that. And if you are, you can build that class in that role more efficiently. That's why I always tell people, I'm not a theory crafter. I'm a class builder, right? Because I know how I have to approach that class in that role. Innate Axiom would add 400 damage to class skill. So on a Nightblade Healer, bigger heals. Exactly. So now, right, Todd, exactly. And that's an option. Once again, there are so many options. How is Draugr's Rest for healing? Said I haven't got to play around with, actually. I'll have to take a look at that, Kevin. So, but, you know, once again, Todd, you just made a perfect example there. The Innate Axiom would be a boon to Nightblade healing. Yeah, definitely. You know? So, there, you just thought of something that I haven't even got to test out yet on a Nightblade healer. But as soon as you said it, I was like, yep. Because I've already played with Innate Axiom, but I've never put it on my healer. But yeah, exactly. It's exactly it, guys. That's how you have to think. You have to put yourself in that mindset. Okay, my healer has to deal damage to do what? Increase its healing. I'm a Nightblade. What are some of the things I have at my innates, and what are some of the things I need to have? So all of a sudden, boom. But once you go ahead and you're like, oh, I've healed on a Templar, so it shouldn't be that hard to heal on a Nightblade. Come again. Templar is novice healer. And I'm not dogging on Templar healers. I have Templar healers. Okay, I do. It's novice. It's the easy button for a healer. You can't fuck up a Templar healer too much. If you fuck up a Templar healer, you got bigger issues, right? Every other class, you could fuck up bad. And putting Worm on a Nightblade is one of those, oh, fuck, I fucked up moments. Yeah. Big time. Necro also good for Warden healers. Right. And I use Necro on my Warden healer. One of my biggest videos is my Evergreen build, and it uses Necro. Spell Power Cure Necro. And it's one of my most popular healer bids. So, yeah. So when people say you don't know anything, I'm like, listen, man, 21 years would dictate I do. And I am currently the most researched healer in YouTube for Elder Scrolls. And that's for a reason. Because I play every one of these classes as healers. And I know the healers inside and out in this game. Nobody's ever going to take that from me. I'm like, I could come out with like DPS builds and tank builds, but they don't get as much views as my healer builds do. So people kind of take my healing advice serious. So, and I do play more towards endgame as healer. So I'll admit that. Most of the time if I play endgame, I'm healing it. I'm not DPSing it. I'm not tanking it so much. I'm usually healing it. So, it's unfortunate. I like to DPS. I like to do things, but, you know, people are just like, we need you. On what? You're a healer. Okay, go figure. So, anyways, there it is. Pretty much said and done. I'm going to cut this, but if anybody has any questions about Nightblade healing, and once again, I'm not trying to float my own boat, guys. I'm very humble. Believe you in me. I've had to endure the trenches to find out what was working and what wasn't working on each class, but it was well worth it. When I come out with a build and I came out with its functionality, I really put myself in the worst case scenarios to get the most out of each class in its role. So Spell Power Cure is a must for healers. It's not a must, Kevin. Okay, first of all, Spell Power Cure is not a must. It's just preferred by majority of groups, especially in endgame. Why? Because it applies a buff to your DPS. And that thus, you know, also to you. So when you get Spell Power Cure buff, your heals go up. And then on top of it, when your party gets Spell Power Cure, their damage goes up. Mystic. So SPC and Word for any healer, right? You can pull it off on majority of healers. Nightblade, no. You can do it. You can. You could put Worm on a Nightblade Healer. I will never rock it on a Nightblade because I know what it's going to do to my healing on my siphons. It's going to go to shit really fucking quick. No, thank you. I'm good. I like healing for more, not for less. So yeah, I can't afford to mess up HOTS. You know, I can't. That's something I can't afford to have happen. So. Easiest resto staff to get in the game is Necro Resto. Yeah, it's pretty cake. Yeah, and then you can also, traits. Anything but charge. Do not put charge. For God's sakes, do not put charge on any type of healing staff. You're better off with anything. You can put infused, decisive. I know people are trying to say, go wall on a... For God's sakes, guys, listen to me. Listen to me. The person who's telling you to put wall doesn't have one of the most... intricate heals on his healer build. And that's funnel health. He'd rather have you put wall than the main heal for the Nightblade Healer. I rest my fucking case. Done, over with, psh, over with. You know? And I've taken into consideration applying utilities. I'm busy. I have buffs. I have utilities. I have sustains. I have applications to apply. Get the fuck off my nuts with the wall. I'm a healer, not your fucking servant. Get the fuck over it. Why don't you do yourself a favor, bend your head down, and suck your own dick? I'm not doing it for you. Can I put Alkosh on my healer? You don't have to have spell power cure. It's just what people in trials expect you to use. Right, exactly. Yeah. But it is a win. You know, prior to one Tamriel, I couldn't afford to get rid of Julianus because of the critical values, right? Spell power cure was great for the application, but those critical values were killing me, right, for my healing. And I'm like, that's killing my heals. And then all of a sudden, one Tamriel came out, and they came out with spell power cure jewelry. And I was like, bling, done. I can rock it now. Alkosh on a Nightblade Healer. That's intriguing. Fuck all of you. I love you guys. I'm fucking guys. You guys love it. You guys. I'll debuff and deal stamina type stuff. You guys are killing me. You guys are just awesome. Oh my. It never gets boring. I love you guys. I love all of you so much. Oh, Jesus. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. So, anyways, there it is. A lot of options on Nightblade. All right? No, you can't go wrong in a lot of ways as long as you know how the Nightblade Healer functions. As long as you know how the Nightblade Healer functions, you're good to go. Alkosh is a stam set, so you'd have to make up some spell damage in Magicka. Yeah, something like that. I agree. Yup. So, there it is. Yeah, let's put Alkosh on healers now. We'll give them wall, and we'll put Alkosh on them. Every healer gets Alkosh and fucking wall. Don't fucking heal. Put one or two fucking heals and fuck your resources and fuck everything else. We want fucking debuffs and everything apply. That's what your fucking role is. Get a fuck over it, fucking DPS and fucking dumbass YouTubers. Ones who've been stacking CP until I came along, twaddling, bleep, bleep, bleep. Whatever, man. All right, guys, that's it. Pretty much said and done. Like I said, waiting for Mystic to make this Alkosh best in slot video. Oh my god. Oh, I hate it. I know. Hunting's Rage. It's Mystic's Rage. We should come out with a set called Mystic's Rage. Mystic's Rage, best in slot. The controversy continues. Reckless Dragon. Nice build. Check out my build video. Please do not spam in my channel, dude. I don't mind you like commenting, but please do not spam in my channel. We'll get you blocked. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so that's Nightblade Healing 101. A lot of options, but the certain things have to happen. It has to. If you're going to be a Nightblade healer, especially in endgame. If for God's sakes, if someone tells you Nightblades can't be used in the endgame, they're fucking stupid. You pair me with a Templar or a Warden. You see what the fuck happens. You pair me with one of those classes. I don't even need a Templar. You give me a Warden. You give me a Warden and see what happens. A damn good Warden healer with the friggin' Nightblade? With the friggin' toughness applied? Shit, bitches. You have no idea. Vicious Death and SBC, the bomb healer. Oh my god, I love that saying, dude. Dude, that's badass, Rock. I love that. That's actually cool as hell. Now you got me curious. Oh shit. All right, so I'm out, man. If anybody has any questions, comments, post below. I want to thank my viewers. I want to thank my subs. I want to thank Robert today. Thank you for the donation, Robert. I appreciate it, man. I'm here every day for you guys. I do this because I love this game. I believed in what the devs did and have done. You know, this new skill advisory is coming out. It's a blessing. I've said it all along. We live by the mantra, the mantra here. Any class, any role. This is Elder Scrolls. Thank you for watching. Mystic Raven. Peace out and have a nice day.